What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another Dragon Ball Legends video. My name is DFree, and in this video, we have a discussion video for you guys where we're going to go ahead and talk about the new Android units. I hope that you guys enjoy. If you are new, hit that subscribe button to stick around on the channel because I think that, we're going to have a lot of Dragon Ball Legends content that you guys would definitely enjoy seeing and hearing and all that stuff. So anyways, let's go ahead and talk about the new Android units that are in the game. So the reason why I chose these two as a talking point is because they signify the emergence of a new archetype in the game eventually, right? Eventually, we already know we're going to get the androids 17, 18, 16, Cell 2, and a lot of people want like, Majin, Android 21, and things like that. So in the future, maybe we'll get her, but otherwise we'll get everybody else for sure. And there's going to be a lot of Android characters. Maybe even Android 8 makes an appearance. I totally would love that. I would fanboy massively over that as a Dragon Ball fanatic. Otherwise, man, I think that this is interesting to me, just in all seriousness, because these are new characters that recently came out, and they're honestly really, really good. And I've said it for a while, but I think that extreme characters are better than given credit for. I think that they're really competitive and can be if they get soul boosted enough and can be competitive with the sparking characters, because the way that the sparking characters have been handled thus far, there's only really, honestly, like a handful of them that you truly and honestly have to worry about right now, but most of them will be a lot better in the future. So as of now, these characters are really freaking awesome in my opinion. So we're going to go ahead and talk about them, and let's go ahead and break it down. So first one that I have here is I have Android number 19. So he's a hero. Now, the same thing I was talking about with extremes being better than advertised, it applies to heroes too. A lot of people see heroes and they're like, oh, they're automatically just trash. There are things I can't deny. Like, they don't output as well, and they take a little bit more damage than everybody else would take otherwise that are higher rarity, and that's normal. But I will kind of quote a statement that they said before the game came out. The producers of the game said they wanted to make all the characters feel as equal as possible, which was kind of tricky when they had to come down to different rarities because, of course, it had to have that gacha element. That's the type of game that it is. But at the end of the day, the hero characters can be very good and competitive. You guys have seen me do it with my Ginyu Force team. It's like really, really fun to be able to use teams like that. And my point, long story short, is that these guys, they need a little bit more investment, but if you were to invest in them, you really have the flexibility to run whatever units you want to run in this game. Now, I'm not saying that your Android 19 would be better than your Sparking Piccolo, right, or whatever, but ultimately they can be really good. So anyways, moving on from that, the reason why I started with this guy is because first and foremost we have an extreme version of him, and then the only other Android we got was Android 20. We have a hero and extreme variant of him as well, but the reason why I started with him is because he has a really, really, really good ability. So to begin, this unit is a support type. Support in this game basically translates to being the jack of all trades, balance type, that type of unit that can't really excel at anything, and I really don't like when they give heroes this one in particular, and this is something that the Ginyu Force mainly has. Most of them have this. What happens is you'd kind of want them to be good at something like blast attack or defense, whatever, but they kind of get shafted by getting support, so they get, again, the middling stats. But otherwise, I mean, he's pretty cool. 19k attack, max value at level 1000, 18k blast, 10,000 to both of his defenses, and 157 to HP there. So solid stats. Critical is actually pretty high, to be honest. Key restore speed is pretty solid as well, so he's not a bad unit on this surface. If you go down here, the main ability is the best thing about him that I was talking about. So, analysis complete. Draw a special arts card next. Requirement is 15 timer counts must elapse. So there's only one other unit in the game right now that I know of that does something like this guy does, where you're able to pick up that type of card. Now, there are units that have the main ability like Frieza, Sparking, like Goku. I think Trunks does too, where you click it and then you get another ultimate arts card for 20 cost or so, but that's not exactly this. This is, in my opinion, I don't think it's as good, but it's basically the next best thing, this type of variant where you pick up another card. And the unit that I'm talking about, now I haven't gone over the new one, so forgive me if another one popped in, but one that I know of, that I know tried and true, that I have used personally, is this Pan right here. She's actually really good because her main ability, Troublemaker, allows her to draw a special move arts card, and you have to wait 15 timer counts. So there is a difference here. So this one is picking up the ultimate arts card basically, and then this one is picking up the green arts card. And for comparison's sake, unlike the other characters I mentioned, like the Sparking Frieza, the Sparking Goku, that pick up their own special move, like their own signature move, these cards are transferable to the other characters. If you ever use one of those Sparkings and then switch to another character, the card would just fall off because they wouldn't be able to use it. So this is my Pan. Ultimately, I was able to use her main ability. This is just some random gameplay I did, and just to try to test the theory out, and I was able to pick up the other card, right? So that's what she did. So you can have 2 of them there, which is pretty awesome if you ask me, because if you have the key, you can use both consecutively or whatever. But the main thing about this, and of course, the android doesn't pick up this card, he picks up the green card. So the green card is a little bit different. The green card can be more versatile than this card in a lot of scenarios, depending on what that character's ability would be with said green card. But otherwise, I swapped into Piccolo because Pan actually went down. And, you know, the card is still there, everything's still fine, and that's how that will break down for the android as well. So I like that a lot. Otherwise, androids are now getting their own Z abilities too. So this guy is able to increase HP. So this team will be solid. It'll be competitive since they have these types of Z abilities already showing up in the game. Unique ability, cover, absorb, absorbs enemies' ki blast attacks. So this is interesting. So when he switches into a combo, if they're firing ki blasts, he's going to absorb them. And then +5 to own substitution count is pretty awesome. I think that's like the highest or one of the highest pluses we've seen on a cover ability. So he's really freaking good, and that's a unique ability on this character. So I really like him. Deals major pierce damage, nothing special there. Absorbs enemies' ki blast attacks, ki wave absorption with the extra card. This is the green card. So if they're shooting anything at you, basically any ki blasts, he'd be able to absorb them. Now, I don't think that applies to anything other than ki blasts in the ki blast arts card. If that, it might just apply to the singular ki blast. I don't know, I haven't used it, but otherwise, he's freaking awesome in my opinion. So moving on to the extreme variant, just gonna be a bit better. As you see, the stats did jump. His blast defense in particular went way up by 5k. His HP went way up as well. Other stats did go up as well. So this guy's pretty cool. He's a melee type, so I enjoy that because it allows you to be more competitive with him in a fight. So if we go all the way down here, key restore speed is phenomenal. Critical rate is really, really good too. So this is the guy that's going to be able to, in essence, try to spam attacks against you. Now, that would work a lot better prior to the change that they made a couple of months ago with the way that you guys regenerate key and cards and stuff and the way that they stall it now. But otherwise, he's freaking awesome. Anyways, so Android's worth, recover key for 15 timer counts upon landing a strike arts hit. Interesting. So that's the main ability. You have to click his face, basically, and that triggers that. So when you land a strike arts card, you start recovering key for 15 seconds. This is an interesting ability because it's triggerable whenever you want it to be. Now, that in conjunction with his key restore speed is pretty wild. Because he can become a character that recovers key mid-combo. And he'd be the only one in the game, again, unless, you know, these two 20s do it. But he'd be the only one in the game that can do that. Now, what I was talking about just a moment ago is, earlier on in this game's lifespan, you could recover key, you could recover, I think, even your vanish meter, you could recover cards, pick up new cards when you run out, mid-combo, mid-movement, and things like that. Now, basically, you essentially almost have to be stagnant to recover those things now in the game. Only thing you can do is kind of move side to side. If you're dashing, I don't think you even get it anymore. If you're using an arts card, you don't get those things anymore. You have to basically be stagnant. But this guy's ability says if he lands a strike arts card, he essentially recovers key. Now, he doesn't recover the cards faster. He'd still have to be stagnant for like a timer count second to start picking up cards again, but he's still picking up keys. That's pretty freaking tight because it's literally giving him the ability back that he didn't have prior, or that he would have had prior had he come out on launch or whatever. Base blast attack and defense. Ooh. So, and he's going into Android. So whenever they do these double up ones, they're just doing it to colors. Like the new Vegeta is a prime example of that. I think Frieza and Frost have this type of thing too, where they're doing 2 in their Z ability, which is pretty cool to me, but they're doing it to like color elements basically. So like Vegeta's like to red element. This guy's giving it to an actual class of characters, to the androids. So he's actually able to fill 2 roles on this team. You totally would want to run him on this team, whether you have like Cells or whoever, anybody that fits in the android archetype. He's going to be really good because this is actually a really modest amount. Like, this is very good. Like, you know, Z ability level 1 naturally with no limit breaks and stuff, 20% to those 2 values, blast attack and blast defense. That's pretty awesome. If you scroll down here, his unique ability, he has 2. First, he maintains the cover absorb that the hero variant has. Otherwise, plus 20% to strike damage inflicted when character Android 20 is a battle member. So when you use this guy and you have Android number 20, basically Dr. Zero, with you in the actual battle, then he gets better strike attack. So he's pretty cool. I like him. Absorbs enemies' ki blasts still with the green card. Okay, so basically there are a lot of similarities. He's a direct upgrade of the Android number 19 we just looked at, which you would expect. Here is the hero version of Android 20. This guy's art. I wish I could show you. but his art is freaking phenomenal. If you guys have him, turn your phone to the side. You'll see all the androids pop up behind him. It's freaking tight. Like, I wish I could show you. I've said freaking a lot in this video. Anyways, android, unknown, hero, defense type on this character, purple element. Otherwise, he has very solid health and decent stats for defense. They're really good for his, actually, you know, his stats are really good for the defensive character that is a hero variant. So his offensive stats leave a lot to be desired, but otherwise his defense and HP is really good for a hero rarity character. Key restore speed is very solid as well. Within expectations, draws a special arts card next. Wait, is that the same? Because I get confused a little bit. Yeah, so he picks up that card too, the same green card. Okay, that's pretty cool. Okay, sometimes, because like this one says special move arts. So this is just special arts. They need to change these names. That's too close, too similar. Anyways, this guy boosts critical rate. Wow, they have a critical booster. Saiyans, I don't think, don't even have a critical booster, and I don't want them to get one anytime soon. Okay, so he's definitely a for sure on your team, even if you don't use him. Cover ability is absorb. He does the same exact absorb ability, photon wave, and then he also has key wave absorption. So they're actually basically the same, which I don't mind that because that's basically sticking true to the lore from the show. They literally had a lot of the same abilities, and they were basically the same model of android. So I don't really mind that. Main difference was that, of course, this guy was at one point a human, whereas the other one, I think 19, is fully robotic. But otherwise, you know, that's sticking very true to the archetype of the characters. Not a lot to go over for him, but this guy is different. He's a range type character here, and we don't see a lot of range characters in the game, I don't think. But he has very, very good blast attack and solid defenses as well. Otherwise, main ability, a scientist's knowledge plus 15 to strike arts cost for enemy. Oh, I was like, wait, what? Why? So the enemy has to pay 15 more cost for strike arts? Boy, I thought that sparking Pycon's ability was annoying. That is really annoying. Although it doesn't hamper blast, which Pycon does, plus 10 to strike arts and blast arts cards for all enemies, which is really annoying too. But still, this is like, yo, this is for one enemy too, so it's nowhere near as good, basically. But still, 15 to just one type is really annoying because those cards are typically cheaper than the blast arts cards anyway. So it's basically taking it to being just as expensive, basically meaning you would need a lot of key to be competitive in a fight against this guy. And he's doing the same thing. He's doing the double up. Android Z abilities are freaking awesome. There it is again. Strike attack and defense. Strike attack and strike defense. The other one's blast attack and blast defense. That is so cool. I'm excited for this. I'm very excited now. Crisis, gauge recovery up. So plus 45% to own vanish gauge recovery when 2 allies are defeated. So he recovers, I don't know if that's a one-time thing or just a consistent thing, but basically whenever his allies are defeated and he's the last one fighting, he can vanish a lot more frequently. Or at least one more time more frequently, which is pretty wild. But I think it's when he switches in and it's just a one-time thing, but otherwise it's pretty good. He also still has the cover ability to absorb key blasts, also has key wave absorption as well. Photon wave does major explode damage and plus 25% to own vanish gauge recovery. Wait, oh, that's what it is. It said recovery. So no. So this would be recovery speed, right? That's what I'm thinking. He recovers 45% faster on his vanish meter when he's the only one out there. That's almost a 50% increase. This one here says 25% if he launches a special. Okay. This man's gonna be dodging a lot if he's the last guy you have left. I like it. The androids, man, they're gonna be a lot of fun in this game. So anyways, hope you all enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new for more content. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Have an awesome day, and I'll catch you in the next one.